Chapter 4, the soulmate list. Remember the days before cell phones, Google, MapQuest, or GPS existed? I don't know if you're as old as I am, but we actually had paper maps that were a pain in the ass to fold. I moved to Arizona from Utah on June 22nd, 1997. Actually, I spent the previous week with my granny and pa first. So on June 22nd, I drove from their house in New Mexico with everything I owned, which wasn't much, stuffed into my 1978 Datsun B210, mustard yellow colored, by the way. And it had no air conditioning. It was super fun. The first morning after I arrived in Arizona, all of my cassette tapes melted in the front seat in my car, and it was 9 o'clock in the morning. If you have yet to experience summer in Arizona and you always wanted to know what it was like, here's a similar scenario. Perhaps maybe you have done some baking. You know when you want to check to see if your food is cooked and ready and you open the door to the oven too fast and you put your face down there and it feels like your eyebrows just got singed off? That's what summer in Arizona feels like. But I digress. When I got to Arizona, I bought a huge map of the valley. I answered help wanted ads and set off to job interviews in said Datsun B210. I mapped out each address, took one turn at a time, did lots of U-turns, and sometimes had to stop at gas stations for directions. When I arrived at my destinations, most people would take one look at me since I was drenched in sweat and ask, "Are you okay? Do you need some water?" Alas, even though I got off course, I still arrived eventually. No matter how many wrong turns or how long it took, I still arrived. P.S. Being in Arizona with no air conditioning in the summer is a blasty blast. Okay, so paper maps are no longer needed, but in order to reach any new destination, you have to enter the address in the GPS, right? The GPS will take you there no matter how many wrong turns you take. So if you want to find love, where do you go? What route do you take? You follow your soulmate list. Your list of everything you want your partner to be is your route. Especially on the days when you feel like you'll be alone forever or you'll never find love again. Your soulmate list is your GPS. Read your list and do one thing you described. I attracted real love only after I became crystal clear about what I wanted in a partner and created a list that described exactly who he was, what he was like, and what we did together with as many details as I could envision in the notes in my phone. I couldn't stay on track and focus on my soulmate list until I typed into the notes in my phone. If you don't know what you want, how is God or the universe going to know who to send to you? But wait, Karen, I thought you were supposed to write goals on paper with a pen. Yes, writing and journaling is critical for growth and change. However, this list was different because having your soulmate list on paper makes it challenging to make changes. And having your soulmate list with you 24/7 prompts you to read and edit it frequently. Reading and editing your list daily helps you focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. The list I typed in July of 2013 drastically differed from my list on December 14th, 2014, which is the day of my last first date. Your list constantly needs edits. When you learn something, like these aha moments happen for a reason. As soon as something sparks an idea or desire for your dream partner, update your list. Every date, every person, every interaction you have with a human is a teacher. Every experience is a gift. Once you've been given a gift that shows you what you do or don't want, update your soulmate list. Dreams are illustrations from the book your soul is writing. That's a quote by Ed Milet. Your dreams come from your soul. The relationship you want is from the list your soul is writing. Your list is unique to you. So here's the soulmate list, part A. You probably heard that writing goals makes you more likely to achieve them. A Forbes magazine article explains why this is. And according to this study, vividly describing your goals in written form is strongly associated with goal success. And people who vividly describe or picture their goals are anywhere from 1.2 to 1.4 times more likely to accomplish them. I don't see why a relationship goal would be any different from any other goal. And wouldn't you want to give yourself a higher chance of succeeding? It only makes sense to write down what you want in a husband and describe him as vividly as possible. And once I had done that, I used the list to remind myself of what I needed to become to prove to myself that I was worthy of the man I described. Demonstrate. To show or express a feeling or quality by one's actions. Why demonstrate? Physically doing something solidifies your intentions. If you want, quote, Mr. Right, to be healthy, but every meal you ate last week was from a drive-thru, well, you don't really want Mr. Right to be healthy. Right after my son was born and never slept, I started every day with a gallon of coffee and then went from 1 zillion ounce Diet Coke to another all day. And almost every meal I ate was from a fast food restaurant. I feel you. The struggle is real to be healthy all the time. And the good news is nothing has to be all the time for infinity. Eat healthy more often than not. And if you want a healthy Mr. Right, turn away from Burger King and go to the gym. If you want Mr. Right to be kind, turn right into a loved one's driveway and see if they need help. If you want Mr. Right to be generous, go help someone. Pick up the phone and call a friend you haven't talked to in a while. This process takes time. The mind learns by repetition. These tools can help you when you get discouraged. What also helps immensely is letting go completely of the timing. Many people say that you have to set a deadline on a goal if you want to accomplish it, but here's why I wouldn't. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what he needs to do before he's ready for you. You don't know what experiences that would be great for you and the lessons that would be great for you to learn, nor when they will present themselves. However, physically doing one thing a day that shows that you're serious about becoming the person you want to marry leads you to visualize that you are taking one step closer to your husband. I call my love my soulmate, but you use your words and your language, not anyone else's. And I'll just give you examples from my list to help you create your own to make you a magnet for the husband you want to attract. If all you can think about is what you don't want, write the opposite. Every sentence should be the positive characteristic or quality that you want in a partner. And it's got to be in the present tense. Your soulmate already exists. He is the way you described, or he's working toward becoming the person you describe. You never want to put anything in the future tense, or it will always tend to stay in the future. You attract things into your life by speaking them into existence in the present time. It's happening now. So start every sentence with my soulmate or whatever word you prefer. If you call him my husband, my king, my dream partner, is, and then fill in the blanks. In the positive, in the present tense. One of my teachers was just loads of fun. We had a blast every time we went out. I'd laugh out loud the entire time. But every single time I was with him, it was like Party Central USA. And I would drink too much. There was always too many cocktails a-flowing. I already have a tendency to overdo things, so I cannot date someone who always parties. I mean, sure, I'm all for having girl time and letting your hair down, have fun. Mama needs breaks. She's allowed to go out when she wants. But if you attract someone who gets shit-faced every time you see him, then obviously he probably drinks every day. And how will he be a great role model for your kids? How will he make you want to be a better person? So get your party on with your girlfriends and get back on course. If you want someone who doesn't drink too much or doesn't drink at all, your sentence needs to read, my soulmate is sober. When I would get derailed, I returned to my list. I turned inward and I would ask myself, what can I do to improve? I had to look in the mirror and tell the truth. If you're attracting someone who drinks too much, then obviously you're drinking too much. Back off the booze. I wanted someone affectionate, although not in the super obnoxious get a room kind of way. So I wrote, my soulmate loves to hold my hand and kisses me all the time, even in public. The secret is in the details of what you want, not what your parents want, not